real quick, let me throw up some context real quick about some information. I'm having some fun. You know my 3x3, we're going to get into that in a minute, but it's still a 1x1 or a 0-0. We don't know that that's a boy or a girl yet until I catch it, and they're still going to need a boy or a girl or let them share the cage. Now, there might be issues in the cage later, but just in generally speaking, that's the basic context of what you need. No, that's not what I wanted to do. Okay, so basically, water buffalo cow, you got heritage breeds where the nature of nurture versus nature, I want to get rid of those horns, so I'm going to breed down on what that does. That's a pretty specific observation, but I also want the criteria of the body mass to stay. Do I have any of those characteristics, I, H, etc.? There's an irrational height, right? That's the Planck's constant on what it does, that there's some connection, some bond between two certain points, right? So we're getting into this idle miner game. You know, it's going to look like something like this while you're playing with the speeds on time, because there's no way you could actually wait in the backyard until you caught this one. They have 6 babies, right out, bang, bang. You try to take the strongest of those two, because this generation will still run a generation unless you zero it out hard about, well, these two have babies and we meet all of that, and then those two or whatever, I find an extra rabbit, because otherwise we're going to have to get away from some genetic drift. That might be a more complicated Klein bottle problem, because that's a fucking lion territory. That's why they evolved to do that. Other than selective breeding, there's a natural one in the void prison over there that you're going to have to watch out for, which would be something like this. If you take these characteristics with a probability of the dominant or recessive based on what's going to come off in the result here, once you grow them to fruition, based on the X, Y, Z, T, Schrodinger's bunny rabbit here, then we can build a particle slit experiment and say that's results. Now, it's going to be a little wonky at first, because again, we don't necessarily have this level of clown, pie, mono, whatever, where I'm defining that characteristics. We're just saying rabbit. That is all. This is a ball wave. There is nothing more in it that makes a difference subjectively to anything else based on the combination of events that we can have commonly coming here. Eat rabbit, go shoot another rabbit. Eat rabbit, go shoot another rabbit. Don't shoot rabbit, catch it. Find a little baby's nest and peel them out, stuff them in a box and put it over. Well, those are some ion density differences. Whether the Buck's version of it's going to have some conversation to say what it is, but it's also going to have the drift in certain series of evolutions, and that's generally what you want to do. Now, she's got her original breeder rabbits right there in terms of accumulating year over year what would be the house's model of, you might want to have a couple of chicken cages in here too, but your primary driver is a red meat in terms of rabbit, well, whatever you want to do with it, make it taste good. Same thing. I mean, it's just our cuteness association. Rabbits don't necessarily pick your eyes out like a chicken will, and they're look cuter. You got rabbit fur off them too. Not everybody's fly fisherman, so the hen heckle isn't going to be as good about what type of Bradley program in terms of the leadership out here, glassing it on Doom's territory, because basically that's their crushinator, some demon core floating silver down here about how the periodic table would serve an IH on the refining process more than anything. In order to get the aluminum or the recycling stuff back out, we're going to make a pile of waste, but it's removed from this main system as long as we're and or de-flip-flopping the nature of that logic gate system. Essentially, that's the danger noodle, right? Or a T-Rex, this machine. If you try this bunny calc on some school students, not necessarily by the breeding standard, but in the nature of A1, so A column, B column, names, and systems, that you could physically describe that underlay with a virtual overlay like this, which would be like, come on into the territory, let's see how you like this, maybe a reorganization, but the floor is geometry. The river outside makes a difference. You would generally be right about some topologies, but, you know, it's all hell week all the time.